Hi, Nihada, and thank you so much for being here today with me. It's going to be just a conversation. I would be curious to find out more about when did you start your personal development journey and what techniques did you try and what worked and what didn't work. So if you can tell us a little bit more about where you've been when you started.
Well, first of all, thank you for giving me an opportunity to participate in this
Discussion.
interview, dialogue. And I'm most grateful for that because you have been part of my personal development and my healing journey as well from years and years ago when we used to catch up and
Share
ideas and having discussions until
late night.
late night, and we would be the last in the restaurants, and then I would be looking forward to our next chat because I felt like you could understand me, where I was coming from and what I was talking about. And then one thing led to another, and opportunities, as we spoken before, that the wellness and self-awareness and self-being is the quickest growing industry, second quickest industry in the world now. I started to explore and see what's in there for me. So first of all, I've tried yoga and philosophy of yoga. Then various retreats that I've been to, including twice silence retreat, where it wasn't a Vipassana, but it was silent retreat. You don't talk for 6 days. But I was looking for something more substantial, something that would explain things to me, that it would make more sense in a term of why do we behave the way we behave, what's behind that, and how can we heal that. I didn't actually even know that there was a word healing in all this terminology and what that meant. But now, knowing what I know, everything is about healing the past and our inner child.
Yeah, yes, that's right. So you started a few years ago. I remember the journey was long for you, and I want to congratulate you for being open to look into that and to overcome your blocks and manifest and elevate your consciousness, which is a very nice objective to have as an individual. So you started a few years ago, right?
Well, once you start, if you are open, one thing leads to another. Then you start suddenly meeting the people that you relate to. Then you are hearing about the groups and about the books, about techniques. Interviews, techniques, it's not that easy because you start, looking everywhere and going to so many directions. Yes. But then the skill is how to narrow it down and find what actually suits you, what is that you gravitate towards, and what does feel right for you.
Yeah, that's right. So what was your biggest pain in terms of personal development? What were you looking for?
I don't think I knew what I was looking for to start with, to be honest. But when I first went on a yoga mat, I felt right. I felt something, but I didn't know that you're supposed to have the breath worked out with your poses. And I didn't understand that were not only poses, there was a whole decades, thousands of years of philosophy behind of that. That actually yoga is not the pause. Yoga is
More than that.
more than that, way more than that. However, coming to your modality, because I have heard of family constellations.
Yeah.
And that made sense to me. And particularly when you recommended Another Self,
the movie,
the Netflix series that I watched and got hooked to it and made sense to me. Then the second series came and went even in a deeper dynamics and explanations, and there is not actually two people involved. There are thousands and thousands of people of your ancestors, generations back and behind you that actually made you who you are.
With the good and the bad.
With the good and the bad. And also, I never thought of that. I mean, I heard about epigenetics. I have heard and read about vicarious traumas, generational traumas, or whatever you define it. But I didn't actually understand how much that influence who we are today.
Yeah, that's right. So after the movie, you started to open up to this topic and
because I think I'm also a visual person, so I realized that many opportunities have presented themselves to me 20 years ago. But for instance, Celestine Prophecy book, I've read it, but I didn't take it further until I actually watched the movie. Yeah. Some people say, oh, if you read the book, you don't want to watch the movie. But for me, movie made more sense because it was visual in terms of the energy and what we do and explanations. And then saying with Another Self, I saw it. And then it started to make more sense with the graphics. Then I've heard of Eckhart Tolle book, Power of Now. I opened it 10 years ago and I closed it because it wasn't the right moment. It wasn't the right moment for me. It was on the shelf for 10 years until a couple of years ago I picked it up, and then I was like, oh wow, that makes sense, that makes sense, that makes sense, so on and so forth. Same with the generational traumas and generational journey. Yeah. When I went and did family constellation workshop for 2 days, and you said, this is exactly what I'm doing, but in a different way. Yeah. Then I was like, okay, I can see what's happening. And then for me, most important part is when you said that's not you, that is another part of you. Yeah, yeah, that's right. If I only learned that from you in all this that we've been doing together and talking about, it would be worth like 1 million and more. So if we come back to the steps of my methodology, you have been exposed to, let's say, theoretical aspects or practical workshops for transgenerational trauma healing, or you heard about working on the relationship with your parents before, or how the trauma exists in your body and how to release those emotions. Absolutely. But only when I got to the 5th step, which is the flower and the petals and the multitude of parts that are inside us, the personalities, it clicked. Something clicked in my brain, in my mind, in my being, because we were discussing the particular situation that happened to me, and you said, but that's not yourself, your higher self. Yeah. That's a part of you. That you said that's the part of you. And then you asked me, do I have anybody in a family who was unpredictable like that or similar that I can relate to, because I think you got the explanation, you explained that to me when I said I felt like it wasn't me.
Yeah.
And then you said it wasn't, it was the part of you. And then my brain started to do the clicking.
And after you got the explanation about the inner self and the multitude of parts, do you feel like in your day-to-day life now you make a...
Absolutely, like there's no doubt about it. I immediately say, okay, so pause. This is not you. This is a part of you that is doing this. This is the part of you that is out of line.
It's grabbing your attention.
It's grabbing my attention. It's grabbing my realization, what's happening. And I can actually divert and kind of harness myself in a stop, pause.
Give love to that part,
Give love to that
acknowledge
part, acknowledge it. Like even this morning I did with the first the ones that you, like the first series of
the exercises.
Exercises, and there is a 7th part in there when you give, when you ask the guilt, the shame, anger, you ask them to all come out. And then you look at them and which one is the most loud out there. And
who needs your attention?
Who needs my attention? Then you acknowledge. I learned about acknowledging actually. You acknowledge the anger, you acknowledge shame, you acknowledge the guilt, you acknowledge them all, and then you observe who needs your attention the most. It's almost like if you have 3 kids.
Yes,
kids,
and more.
And then they're me, pick me.
Yeah.
So, and then he said, okay, what's your role in this?
Yeah.
Why are you so angry? What is making you behave like this? And then I use your method of acknowledging, asking, when was that? Why? Saying it is okay. You did that when I needed you, but now I'm a big girl. I'm at this
I'm
age.
capable of leading.
Thank you for making me. Thank you for saving me. Thank you for helping me survive when I needed you.
Do you feel like they relax even more after you apply this acknowledgement and love technique?
That's an interesting question, because I remember when you were saying, just talk to them. You would be surprised
what they can
say back. And sometimes I feel like, did I actually make this up, or did they really speak to me?
They really speak to you. They really feel like it's an energetic field, and that's showing up. And whatever comes to mind first, that's from the field. So the parts have a real dialogue with us. And if they feel heard, they relax and they come back to their initial creative roles that they had in our lives. So all the parts are good and all the parts want us well, but sometimes they behave in extreme roles. So then we need to jump in from the self level and give them that level of confidence that everything's going to be okay.
Because I'm trying to think also about how, like, if we look at ourselves, then we are enough.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, we are enough. And I hear what you were saying. You said, you are the light.
You are.
You are the light.
Pure light.
And there is nothing that you need. You have everything
inside you.
Inside of you. And you are the light.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
If you allowed, because I also heard it said, you are the vessel.
Yep.
And if you allow, you will become that vessel.
You will put more light into that vessel. Yeah, yeah.
And you will become the light.
Yeah. So then you won't be manifesting from anger and fear and frustration and guilt, because you'll be having more light and you'll manifest from that light.
You won't be as suspicious, you won't be as angry, you won't be as
Jealous.
reluctant and jealous. Jealous. Yesterday I asked you, what do I do about feeling jealous?
Yeah.
Particularly nowadays with the social media and everything, you start to feel unsure of yourself.
Yeah, and that's another part of yourself that is feeling that and not you. So you need to give that part whatever that part is lacking.
Yeah.
And yeah, we also talked about how to release the desire behind every thought or behavior that we have. So when we release the desire, which desire means a lack, then you don't clinch to that anymore and you relax. That things come to you more natural.
You don't clinch to that lack.
Yes.
Because the more lack
attracts. The more lack
attracts. The lack attracts more lack.
Yeah. So how do you feel this methodology is different from what you've tried before?
We just have spoken about it. Literally. We do breath work, we do 9D breath work, we do dancing, we are releasing. That's all fine.
Yes.
And I need that as well, to move your energy but this is more than that. This is more than that. This is actually learning about yourself, learning why you are behaving the way you are behaving in a certain situations. This is why you are in so much pain. Why your body is in pain. What emotions do to you? What illnesses create the emotions? What kind of emotions create what kind of illnesses? How your aura, your energetic field is actually mirrored to your children, to your family,
to your life,
with your exterior life. That also, everything is in here. Everything you have is in, not out.
And everything you're seeking happiness and fulfillment from is in there already.
In there already in your heart. But also, what I realized is that what this methodology has taught me is that it's not that easy. You have to work again and again and again, and it's not going to be all hunky-dory, and you will have to go back and then forth and the back and forth with different parts. However, to be satisfied, what has actually taught me to be satisfied that you are disturbed by this, that means you are aware, you have more awareness, you are listening to yourself more and more. You are gaining more emotional intelligence.
Self-awareness. Self-mastery,
And learning to pause.
And being the observer. That means you are no longer that part that reacts. You are more into your inner self energy.
And understanding why you are reacting. And when you also, to do with the parents, when I did the exercise about the parents with you, and you said, who do you want to work with, mother or a father? And then I was like, oh, I have a good relationship with my mother. I don't think there is anything to work with my father. He was who he was. I think knowing what I know now, I think he had this and this and this. And then he said, I think we should work on your father.
Because I felt he was a little bit rejected and judged. So then it's important to honor that individual who was rejected or judged in order to be sure that you're not carrying any emotional entanglement from rejecting that person.
Maybe if you could, like in 3 sentences, explain the rejection part to me again.
Yeah, so the system, every system that you are a part of, has this natural tendency of balancing, of keeping everything in balance. So when you judge or exclude a person, a part of you, or somebody else, the system has this tendency of bringing that aspect back into the system. So it might come back to you, or it might come back to your kids or your grandkids and so on. So it's very important to accept that everything and everyone has the right to belong. And when we judge and criticize and gossip, it's like saying, you don't have the right to belong here.
Mm.
So if there is any part of the behavior of your father that you once rejected or criticized, that means you need to give him the honor that he needs and make sure that that part that you rejected is not coming back to you or your kids or anyone in the family.
Yeah, that makes actually a lot of sense when you, because initially there's nothing there to talk about, but when you said, I think there is something in there, and then when I started to think, I could connect the dots why I said I felt like it wasn't me, being explosive, being, short-tempered, and that it's all from my father.
Yeah, but it comes also with the gifts. So when you apply the methodology, you honor what it was, just accept that they did what they did with the tools they had and the times they lived. And then you also connect to the gifts that everyone in the family has. So you honor what it was, and then you take those gifts and move forward in your life. I wanted to come back to you when you said it's not an overnight process. You just push a button and miracles happen, and you feel like every day you see yourself in an observer role more and you work on yourself a little bit every day. Is that because you have now the understanding how to do it? But I want to ask, how painful is the experience? Because this is a deep work. You need to go to the part that really hurts and to that exiled part that was locked in the basement and talk to that part. Is that a painful process, or how did you feel?
It is extremely vulnerable. Like you expose yourself out, like you leave yourself a row open.
Yeah.
It's like, you cut through your chest and your abdomen and everything, and then you just turn
Look inside.
turn it inside out for everybody to look.
Yeah.
And then you honestly can see why, what, when, because it happened to you. Because you can see what state, neurologically, what state you were, emotionally. I actually heard something the other day from Ray Bahan. Yeah, he said, tell me what you feel and I will give you a diagnosis. Tell me your emotions. Tell me how you feel your emotions and I will give you a diagnosis.
Yeah.
How the emotions that we feel, they
bring to surface.
They come to surface, and then when they get exposed, what happened. But once you do that, there is no way on earth that you will go back again to your old self.
Yes, that's right.
No matter how painful, how raw you feel and vulnerable, you will never, ever, ever go back to your old self. And in fact, you will be like,
you'll elevate.
Yeah, you will be looking and thinking that for sure I was asleep. How did I survive all this time living in a dream. And you will be able to analyze every situation in your life if you remember how you felt, what emotions were you experiencing, why you attracted people that you attracted, situations, circumstances, events, or why you did not attract or manifest. Now, manifest is the it word. You will understand way more with this methodology once you start working on it.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thanks, Nihada, for sharing it. So you feel like you're a different person now, and it brought value to you, and it equipped you with some skills that you will be having for the rest of your life.
I think equipped is the right thing.
Yeah.
It gave me tools.
Yeah.
It gave me tools. Like, this is not my journey didn't start only with you.
I know.
I had
started years ago.
my ex-boss who one day came and she gave me the card of the psychologist, and she said, this is the card I think you need to have. There is no way with your life that you haven't been traumatized. Here's the card. Go and see this woman. Otherwise, I can't help you. I don't have the tools in my box to help you. And you need to look for somebody who has tools. So what I'm saying by this is that I feel I have 2 or 3 tools now in my small box. To deal with my feelings, with my emotions, and then that I have this powerful opportunity to say pause.
And X-ray everything and know exactly.
Accept. You are the guilt, you are the shame, you are the part of me, but you are the only parts of me. Thank you. You've been there. You helped me. You helped me in my survival. You made me who I am. But now, would you like to do something else?
And let me lead this
part
of my life.
And then come and warn me again when I need to be warned. But now I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Do you feel like you have more love and acceptance now for everything and everyone around you?
When I started working on this, actually, I didn't like myself. I felt that I wasn't a nice and a kind person.
A part of you thought that you are not a kind.
Part of me thought that I'm not a nice and kind person. And I started to think about how I behaved in certain circumstances, and they were not nice. Like I said, circumstances. However, knowing what I know now, is that they were the parts.
Yes, exactly. That were trying to protect you or warn you.
They were the parts.
Yeah, that's right. So you feel like you brought a new level of understanding and acceptance. You accept them.
I don't think I loved myself enough. I think I wouldn't say that I was a people pleaser, but I think I was, it's not only that, it's the part like being a migrant to another country as well.
Yeah.
So you kind of adjust your behaviors, your values, your intentions, and then you try to work harder, double or triple harder than
to prove yourself.
To prove yourself. So that's why I'm saying I don't think I was a people pleaser, but I have tried not to, in some circumstances, not to rock the boat.
Yeah. So now you're more tuned to yourself and.
Now, not that I would rock the boat, but I have more understanding to do it in a different way.
Yeah, more in what way?
More that if it is not what I want, is the part. Not that if it is not what I want, how help me to get my thoughts out.
Yeah, it's like accepting that not everything needs to be the way you want it, like a control freak. And
Or you don't need to fix everything and
yes, it's
everybody.
not your job.
You don't need to control everybody and
the outcomes every time.
yeah, and also particularly like at work, you know, let loosen up a little bit, let people make their own decisions, let them be the adults, try to stir them if you can. I've learned to pay attention now to those that have potential, that I can see that there is a potential there to guide them and stir them in a certain direction. Whereas in the past, it would be my way or
no way.
or no way.
I've been there. I know exactly.
And I can say that I was very opinionated.
Yeah.
I knew it all. I knew the best hairdresser, the best person who does the eyebrows, and I would comment openly. I mean, you don't have to put this in a
That's all right.
but then I would, how would I feel if somebody says to me, your eyebrows, you need to go and fix your eyebrows?
Unsolicited advice.
Unsolicited, yeah, I was full of unsolicited advices. Yeah, I was full of unsolicited advice. Even the other day, my son told me, we were talking something, and I said to him, oh, maybe the uni is going to close the entrance, and he said, I didn't ask you for your advice.
That's right. So now you feel like you behave differently with the others.
As I said, it's not the overnight fix the problem. You lived for 50 odd years with those habits, emotions, speeches, beliefs, and now, pause, reset and be nice and kind, and you know how to observe yourself, be aware, be self-aware, going in, not out. Yeah.
That's amazing. It's been a long journey for you, Nihada, and I know you really well to know that you won't be stopping here, because you have this desire to evolve and be a better person every day, and a better mom, and a better friend, and a better co-worker, and you take this serious and you want this.
Because it's not actually about even being a better mother, co-worker, and so once you are better with yourself, all the others will come, and that's my biggest realization.
So your focus is on yourself, your self-awareness, your self-love, and self-mastery, and knowing yourself. And
knowing yourself, going self-mastery, understand your parts, they are made out. I've heard the other day that we are made of 32 trillion cells that our body is made. So imagine how many parts of ourselves then.
What a big ecosystem.
Hope not 32 trillion.
No.
But
it wouldn't match the cell number, but yeah, there is a multitude of parts, and once you start befriending them, all of them come. So they will say, pick me, pick me. It's like you've been in a room, a dark room, and out of the sudden you turn on the light, and they all say, oh my God, I want your attention too. So it's a work in progress, and as they show up, you know what to do. And that's, I think, the best tool that somebody can be equipped with to deal with whatever it might come.
To be honest with you, I'm actually excited now, even when it's something that is not, as I rang you yesterday to ask you about the jealousy.
Yeah.
And you said, watch this part and exercise. You were not sure whether it was a second or a third, and it's desire. And then I was like, just be grateful that you actually even recognize that.
Yes, and that's another opportunity for you to work on something. Because all those things that show up, and even people who trigger you, are actually great opportunities for you to see where exactly you still need to work on yourself. So whenever something shows up, it's actually great.
And the other realization that I have come is not actually about that person at all. It's all about you. as you mentioned the other day, something about that you heard from your friend, and you said
It didn't trigger
you
me
said
at all.
it didn't actually bother me at all.
Yeah. For me, that was an amazing realization that the work I have done myself helped me not react from any wooden part, like feeling small or not worthy, or I accepted somebody else's opinion without triggering any pain inside me.
Pardon me, because that's their opinion, which has nothing to
Doesn't
do with
define
you.
me.
Doesn't define you or defame you either.
Exactly.
Doesn't defame your character nor define your character.
Yeah. The feeling I had while my friend was talking was accepting that it's her view.
Mhm.
Even if she said, your videos are not good enough, I was also aware that I'm on a learning process with videos. So I said, if this is how she sees the things, she's right.
Yes.
I cannot be in charge of how she sees the things. I just can accept
or fix it or make it that you like it.
Yes. So that was an amazing realization for me, Nihada. Thanks for reminding me.
I also was thinking that maybe see how when we start working on ourselves, the universe sends these people to us.
Tests, they are called tests.
And so this person to you was to test you about your work and what you have achieved. And when you said, no, she hasn't triggered me with her comment. But for me, I guess with a feeling lack, like I'm looking what is my lack when I hear or see a particular person, like where is my lack? What am I lacking that triggers me?
So as I explained to you yesterday, every time we react to something, behind there is a desire for approval, control, security, and these are the three main, but there are another two. One is unity, and the fifth one is separation.
Confirmation.
So whenever you feel something, you ask yourself, and it's not the 8 C's of the inner self qualities, calm, compassion, clarity, and if you feel something, you ask yourself, what is actually behind that? What do I want with that? Do I want control? Do I want security? Do I want approval? So then you give yourself approval and you give yourself security. Because you cannot have the desire for control and control in the same time. They cannot coexist. So in order to have control, you need to give up the desire of control.
Did I hear that from you from the first part? I think you said you can't have a desire. Now I know, because you said you can't have a desire to control.
And control in the same. So I guess you want the control and not the desire of control. So which one do you let go? You let go the desire. So it's a work in progress, but the results that I've seen applying it are amazing for me, and I continue to see them unfolding. I just wanted to see how you felt the process and how you feel like the pieces of the puzzle come together.
As I mentioned before, like even for me, pausing and not reacting straight away, or you receive the message and then message straight back without actually reading the message. Pause, leave the message. You don't have to reply straight away. And then you break. I swear to universe, you go and you think, and second time you read or third time, it's not even the message that you read the first time.
Yes, because it's not that part that is overreacting at the first impulse. It's actually you step back, you pause, and you give more space for the inner self to come and lead, and not that part, because the immediate reaction. So whenever you have a reacting means when you are looking for immediate gratification, or you react from a lack. When you do something or say something and you have behind these two, you either react from a lack of something, if something's missing,
Mm.
you either want immediate gratification, like, oh, you are upset, oh, let me pour a glass of champagne, or oh, let me watch this Netflix series, and that's immediate gratification. Or I just want to tell her whatever I feel.
Yeah.
Exactly, it's the same. Whenever you break that cycle of reacting immediately, you actually go deeper and you give more space for the inner self to react.
Because I can see in myself, and I'm so proud of myself when I do that. Like, I'm so proud of myself when I want to write something, I guess, spiteful or something.
Stingy.
Like something, I won't even say, spiteful or something. Then I start, and then something stops me.
The observer.
Yeah, so the observer, is that what it's called? Yeah, so the observer stops me, and then I don't write anything, or I rephrase in a nicer, more kind way.
That's amazing.
Yeah, even like yesterday, I can tell you the recent. So my in-laws got a puppy, but they had a dog. They never looked after the dog. That dog was, if it was in Australia, they would have been reported and dog would have been taken away from them. But now they got themselves puppy. So I was going to write, nice. Is the puppy going to be again, put in a cage and
like the first one?
Yeah, like the first one. But then I actually stopped myself and I didn't write. I wrote something kinder than that. And then her response was, no, he's not going to be in a cage, he's going to be in a warmer because he's still little. So I would have, if I wrote the different, I would have just hurt her.
Yes, and that was a desire for you to hurt her.
Yeah.
To tell her what you feel, you think.
Oh my God, that's actually the core of everything that you have to ask, like what I started to ask myself now. Why do you want to say this?
Exactly. Why do you want to hurt the other person?
It's not even I don't even say that. I just say, why do you want to write that? And then, is that because you want to hurt them? You want to be spiteful? You want to be...
What's your intention?
What's your intention with this?
Yeah. That's the mantra.
Yeah. What's your intention with this? Why do you want to write that message? What's the intention? Is it kind? Is it, what is it? Is it kind? Is it true? Is it true? Is it kind? Do you know it? Do you have a knowledge about that? Is it kind? Is it true? If it is none of these three, then
shut up. Yeah, that's right.
Do you have a knowledge about that?
No, you just suppose that's the universal truth.
Yeah. Or do you know it?
Yeah.
Do you have a knowledge? Is it true and is it kind? I think Aristotle or somebody said that.
I know this one, right? I forgot exactly the part.
And that's what, like, if I do that now, it is
amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah.
Because even I made something, and my sister-in-law, so we have a group and we share, and I sent this, and she said, oh, you have to give me a recipe. And a part of me wanted to write, why was the point? You never make anything anyhow. But then I didn't say I will send it or not. If she asked me again,
that means she's really interested.
Yeah, but if she doesn't, then yeah.
So what would you recommend someone who is maybe in an early stage of the journey of self-development? Because I know it's overwhelming with so many messages around us and so many experts that can help you.
Yeah.
What would you recommend someone, Nihada?
First of all, what I would recommend is give yourself benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
try.
You might not know what
Try.
resonates with you.
Give the attempt. And if it doesn't resonate, it doesn't resonate.
Move on.
Move on. Thank you very much, Anamaria. This is not for me. I'd rather do breath work or go to yoga or whatever.
Yeah.
But for me, it's refining now. So the journey to oneself and regenerational program, it's almost like now I'm tuning, I'm refining what I
put together before.
What I thought that was in my subconscious mind, but I couldn't pull it out of my subconscious mind. Would that be adequate to say? Okay.
Yeah, it was like, wasn't completely new. You knew some bits of pieces, but now everything comes to put together and you're more aware of it, more conscious aware of it.
So it's like bringing the subconscious into the conscious
one. Yeah, that's a beautiful one. I love that.
Yeah, because now I can say we have to thank or not to thank to subconsciousness lots of things, but if we could bring more subconscious stuff into the conscious, that makes the sense.
Yeah, and that makes the difference between conscious creation and subconscious creation or manifestation, however you want to call it.
But I also want to say this, Anamaria, not because we've been working for a while together, and it is that the way how you present the things, the way how you explain things, I'm not being biased here, but they resonates with me.
And it's a clear, simple message, and it's logical.
It's logical.
Yeah.
Because for some people who are more pragmatic, and they want to use the logic. And why is this like this? It's because of that. And why this lion is big lion and this lion is small lion, and how do we connect that? This is the method.
And the method, to piggyback on what you said, Nihada, has these two amazing concepts. One is the theoretical, where I explain, and that's for the mind. The mind needs to understand.
Yeah.
And once the mind understood and he said, yeah, that makes sense, that is logic, then we move to the practical exercises, which are for the body, and then you move to embodying that experience. So then you have a full-on experience because the mind understood and it's okay. It says, okay, let's go on. And then the body follows with the experience.
Because I feel that this is not just, I think this is a deeper philosophy in that there is almost like an old Vedic, that the sages knew and understood this thousand years. It just defined and made they knew that there is a subconscious. They knew that there is the quantum field, energy, aura. They knew that there are energetic points in our bodies. Chinese medicine exists for like thousands and thousands of years, but we named it chakras now. And if there is no flow of energy,
there's nothing.
There is nothing.
Yeah, beautiful said, Nihada. Amazing. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I feel like we could talk for hours and days because we always had things to share. But I think if you want to add anything before we wrap up, that would be lovely.
What I probably would say the last is that this is the modality that actually encompasses all other modalities.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, it is indeed a collection of methodologies, all put together in a very logical and comprehensive way for you to be able to deal with blocks wherever they come from in your life.
Because when I started working with this, I started to realize I've heard this, I know this. Yeah. I had so many aha moments, but this modality actually made it clear and understandable and logical.
Yeah.
Why I didn't get it before.
Yeah.
But it was because I clearly wasn't ready.
You are ready now.
Yeah, I clearly wasn't ready. And I'm so excited, and I cannot tell you how excited I am, even in my deepest, like a pit of my core, where I feel so vulnerable and wounded. I'm still excited.
Yeah, it is exciting to go there.
I'm still excited that there is so much to learn about yourself.
Yeah, and you cannot go beyond pain unless you get through the pain. You cannot ask someone else to go on the gym and work on your muscles. You need to go on the gym and work so hard that you need to damage the muscle in order the muscle to be to break the muscle for the muscle to become stronger. So that's the same analogy here. You get through that pain, through that experience in order to overcome it.
Some teachings will say, the Creator gives you this pain
for you to get the
for
lesson.
you to understand it. That's why when we said about your friend and for me, being tested with the messages, am I going to be spiteful or hurtful to write back? Is the dog going to be in a cage again as the previous one? These are the tests that we are.
And the universe is asking you, are you going back to your old
self?
Or you elevate. So when you break that cycle, you actually elevate your consciousness and move to a better destiny line.
But for me as well, now that I understand that even when I don't feel great and when I feel there is no way that you want to go back where you were. Yeah, that's right. Even if it is hurting and you are, because it's a different, it is nothing lasts forever. Yeah, the good and the bad. Yeah, and it's not going to be the same. Okay, yesterday we had a cloudy weather. Today is sunny. That's right. Sun comes every day and it is different. Same as we wake up every day and we have different level of energies and attitudes. So everything that comes in your life, it comes for your greater self. It is a lesson there that it will teach you something, and then you won't be the same person again. You'll elevate. So for me, the biggest aha was to be more open and accept whatever comes, and to let somebody bigger than us be in charge, and you just let yourself in the hands of something bigger. I guess for me is that I probably somewhere in subconsciousness had this, that even about the people and things and places and the countries and jobs and the colleagues. So I didn't actually I didn't understand. In order to understood, I was trying to fix it. Yeah. So I knew that something was not quite right. So I was trying to fix and tell people what to do and control them, and don't do that, don't go this way, don't drive 110, you will don't say that, don't say that, or say this, or. But now I have, I come to the terms to let things happen. Let things happen, and I cannot fix. And it's not your job to fix. And it's not my job to fix. Just enjoy the journey. It's not my job to fix even your own child. Children are not your children.
Yeah.
They come to you through you.
But they have their own destiny.
You don't own them.
You don't own them. Yeah.
They have their own life and destiny.
You do your best with your raising them, educating them.
Despite how hard it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also, okay, I have never blamed my parents for anything. However, I can totally and fully relate why I behave the way I behave, what has, the influence,
what traits and
what traits I have from my mother, what traits I have from my father, what traits I have from being the eldest child, what traits I have for living the life alone. And I have a million things to thank my mother. I have a million things to thank my father, regardless of everything.
That's right. That's amazing.
And if it was that, because I said the universe, you choose your parents.
Exactly. So you choose the experience through them. That's right. This is such an amazing gift, the gift of life, to experience all this. And I feel like we lose a lot of energy complaining, gossiping, and worrying. Then
trying to control, trying to fix.
Then enjoying and just keep that going.
Validations. These are all the validations.
Because these are our parts that need our attention.
They need love and validation. So you do once you start doing the things for yourself, for your how you feel, not for external validation. Yeah, you break the cycle. You break the cycle. That's right. Once you do, I put this skirt on because, for me because it makes me feel, which it does. Yeah. It's a beautiful skirt. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Nihada. You are such a joy to spend time around you and share ideas. Thank you so much for sharing with us your experience. I hope you inspire someone. You definitely inspire me, and I'm so happy to be your friend and work with you and everything, having you around. And thank you for sharing with the others. Likewise.